See, that's the problem with not with feminism, but this angle on feminism, right? This idea of like, well, we're looking for equality. No, but we're looking for equity. There's a difference. In the same way that we talk racially about how we want equity. Okay? Equality, just because things are equal doesn't mean things are fair. Okay? What if we decided that everybody equally has to wear the same exact clothes? Everybody. That's equality, right? But what if those clothes are only designed for male bodies? What about everybody else who doesn't have a male body? But we all have the equality, right? So everybody should be happy, right? That's the logic you guys are saying here. But that's not the case. We're looking for equity, not equality. On paper, going 50-50 with your partner financially as a woman, on paper, yeah, that sounds like it's equal. But when you pull back and you look at the big picture and you look at all of the things that we talked about here, right? The disadvantaged position that women are in society, in this patriarchal society. When you look at the invisible labor that women do for men and consequently for the society. When you look at the socioeconomic benefits that that men gain from being associated with women and being involved with women. When you look at the inherent risk that women take engaging with men. When you look at the energetic exchange that happens between women and men, where men are siphoning women's energy to go and pop off. Women putting so much energy into men and relationships. This man is just growing and getting better and better, going up the corporate ladder. Meanwhile, you're getting more miserable, more depressed, more unhealthy. When you look at all of that together, is it really equal? If you're on top of all of that also as well, in addition to paying 50% of the bills? I mean, the math isn't even adding up. Really, what it turns out, what ends up happening to these 50-50 women, which, by the way, the woman that I stitched in the beginning of this, who was talking about 50-50 is feminist. And if you don't believe in 50-50, it's because you're not feminist, because nobody should just be doing things because of their gender. Yeah, it's not just about their gender. It's about how genders are affected by this society that is a patriarchal society. Like, let's pull out here. But you have these folks talking about, this woman, she mentioned in the whole clip that her man goes 50-50 with her. So of course she's sitting here over intellectualizing why she's actually still feminist, doing probably most of the housework, okay? Probably having to hold his hand and then also paying 50-50. These women who do this, who go 50-50, right? They soon realize, well, they don't even realize, because again, they're devaluing their invisible labor, right? So they don't even understand what's going on, but they start to break down physically, mentally, and emotionally, and spiritually, because that shit wears on you. You're doing like 75% of the labor and the finances in the relationship. It's uneven, and you're going to exhaust yourself. I mean, it's just untenable. That's why all of our mamas look the way they do. That's why all of our mamas were stressed the way they were. Especially the boomer generation, because they're the first generation that decided to go into didn't decide, but they fought for that, right? To go into the workforce. And of course, we're talking about white women, because that's another thing she said. Because remember, black women and non-white women, they didn't have the luxury of not working. Not only did they not have the luxury of not working, but even after enslavement, there were even places that created laws to make black women work, okay? But I digress again, all right? You have these women who are over-intellectualizing, them doing this 50-50. They don't realize, because they are diminishing how much free labor they do in the household, the mental load that they carry, and they're diminishing that work. They're undervaluing it, so they don't even realize what's really going on. Meanwhile, they're getting sick. They have autoimmune disease. They have all kinds of sickness, which, by the way, I believe it's something like 80% of all autoimmune disease is women, okay? And they're stressed, they have hypertension, because they're dealing with an undue burden, and they don't even realize it, because they've tricked themselves into believing that 50-50 is equality. when it's not 50-50. It's more like 75-25, 80-20. And that's if you're lucky and have a decent man.
No need, so no.